Okay, good morning. Can you remember where we stopped last time? So we have few slides to go in the last session, no? Right? So we stopped, I think, I hope that we may go through the things and we refer. Yes, we need to talk about this one. Now, this one also familiar, right? Production possibility. So, can you remember, right? Those days we talk about PPC, PPC line, production possibility curve. So that's also very much important concept, no, right? So currently we are talking about the crisis period, no, right? How we can increase the production, no, right? There is a growth rate, no, right? So how we increase the productive capacity of the economy, no, and so on, right? So this is a very important concept. We must know our strength, no, and capabilities, no, right? First, no, right? We are going through that process, right? So basically, the PPC, production possibility, what does it explain? What does it explain? You are new, you were absent last time. No? You also. So the new phases are coming, old phases are going, you know, like the parliament change, no? Right? No? Right? So that is happening, no? Right? Okay. So what is PPC? What does it explain? Simply, yes. So that explains the productive capacity of the economy, no? Right? Productive capacity. So as we discussed in the last lecture, no? Productive capacity. Productive capacity. So that is the boundary line of it. Boundary line. So we can reach to the boundary line to the production by incorporating factors of production into the production process, no? Right? We can expand the production. No? That depends on the, as we discussed last time, you may remember resource base, no? Right, of the country. Resource base, no? Right? As Adam Smith clearly identified, no? And remember we talk about under the wealth of nation, no? Right? Country's productive capacity depends on the factors of production. Right? So what are the factors of production? We identified is in economics, land, labor, capital, attribution. No? Right? So those are human factors also there and other physical factors and so on. No? Right? So that's related to actually when we talk about land, labor, uh, profits, and entrepreneurs. Right? No? Right? So physical things and the mental, all the things are combination, no, right? Our capabilities, no, human capital and all these things explained there, no, right? Factors of production. It's the physical factors and the other, even in the monetary factors also coming under that, no, right? All these with the productive capacity resource base. So if we can expand the productive capacity, that we call it as economic growth, no, right? Expansion of the productive capacity. So now we are trying to expand the productive capacity. Expansion of productive capacity. So there is the growth. I say the GDP, right? We explain how how we measure the productive capacity in monetary terms using gross domestic product, right? Gross domestic product, GDP, right? So that is the monetary value of over the goods and service produced in the country, in the geographical area, GDP, gross domestic, right? So if there is a rise in the GDP, that explains the expansion of the productive capacity. So how we are How we can do that? Basically, two factors basically contribute to that. So, like as we last time also we highlighted. One is as mentioned the resources, right? Expansion of resource base. And the productivity, right? Enhancement of productivity. Right? So that basically now how we can increase the production and output or the resource productive capacity by expanding the resources, right? Our resources there and all other resources, right? So there are means and ways of expanding resources. We can convert this. We can do research, no, on this area to find out the new research, right? And we can attract new research, foreign research, no, foreign investments, no, right? That's also part of the resource, no, right? So when we attract the foreign investments, what happens? It's called like a package, no, like we are getting, no, not only the money, no, right? What else we get through the foreign investment, foreign direct investment, like here, portfolio investment, share market investment. Especially when we are talking about the FDI, foreign direct investment. So now also we are paying attention on how we attract more and more foreign investment for the country, right? How we can encourage foreign investment, right? Last 30 years even, we did same thing, no? Why we expand our economy, why we open up our economy, basically to attract more and more foreign investment because we don't have the domestically our resources are limited, no? Right? Why we say that? Domestic resources are limited. Because if you look at the domestic investments, right? If you refer the central bank reports, how much our domestic investment ratio is around 20 to 25%, right? If you look at last 30 years, 20, 30 years, no, right? Average investment ratio is 30%. And why there is a lower investment? Basically, we have the lower savings, no, right? Domestic savings, if you look at. That's also average 18 to 20, no, right? 15 to 20, like that. Right? So therefore, how we match that gap? There's a gap, no, right? Foreign investment and the domestic investment and the domestic savings, no, right? Savings investment gap, no? So that gap we finance through the foreign investment. So we need to, if we want to increase the resource base and the production capacity of the economy, we need to expand the investment, right? Domestic or foreign, right? So, but we cannot expand the domestic investment because our savings are lower, because our income is lower, right? We are in the middle income, right? Yes. So, therefore, we need to get the foreign investment, foreign savings, so that comprising not only the foreign investments, other sources of foreign exchange, we are getting foreign aids, even foreign loans also coming under foreign savings. So that's why we rely on the foreign assistance, right? In order to expand our resources. So one is the foreign investment, right? And we can convert our resources unusable resources into convertible resourceable like low productive waste, right? Into the production, right? Converting resources. That also can expand the resource. Then we can do research and development, no, right? Our things and resources, right? So that is the one. Another one is the enhancement of productivity, right? So the technology, human capital, right? Research, training and development, right? So those are the, and you can think about how we can enhance the productivity, specialization, division of labor, all these things, coming under productivity, right? How we can reach to higher output level, right? Using fewer inputs, right? It's a, as we discussed last time, productivity is the output input ratio, right? So we can raise the output the minimum inputs, no, right? So that is the productivity. Right? So those are the main sources, no? Those are the resources in right? Two sources, right? So that explains the productive capacity, no? Right? In the BPC diagram, we can explain all these things, no? Right? See, right? So it's a what does it explain? Now the PPC diagram, we take the, now we cannot use all the resources, all the goods that services we produce, no, right? We not explain that, but we take two goods, no, right? That two aspects, so the two goods may represent different products, no, right? In the broader terms, we can include, no, right? Either consumer good or capital goods, no, like that way, no, right? So, right? Or you can take any two goods, right? So that explains the productive the capacity of that two goods that we can produce by incorporating factors of production and the technology, no, right? So, so productive capacities, no, right? Now the boundary line explains the maximum productive capacity, no, right? Boundary line, right? So how we can reach by combining all the resources and together with the technology, right? Right? So that explains the productive capacity of the country. So in the CPC diagram, right? So we can explain maximum output that the economy can produce by incorporating resources that is the technology and all the factors of production. Right? So when we are utilizing the full the factors of production fully, no, right? When we are employing the factors of production and the technology at their full potential level, the maximum output that the economy can produce explain the PPs, no, right? So that explains the maximum productive capacity, right? So no need to write this one, right? So I have uploaded this, right? Okay. So you can take the things, right? So okay, right? So it explains the resources we are going to use fully, no, right? So that explains one term. What is that term? We are incorporating all the resources and the technology at their full potential level. What is the state of the? It's called full employment. Right? So there's a full efficiency of it. So that means in the boundary line explain the efficiency. Resource allocations are efficient, right? Efficiency, right? So at that level, we utilize all the resources, that means all the factors of production and the technology, right? In order to get that output, right? Okay. So now if we take the computers and the cars, right? Right. So how we can draw these, right? Say now we utilize our resources in order to produce computers and the cars. Right? So we take hypothetical example, right? So now what does it explain? Now here it say 3,000, no, right? So that means one what do you call we utilize all the resources and the technology to produce computers. We can end up with 3,000, no, right? Right? So 3,000 output here, right? And same way we can use all the resources and the technology, right? To produce 1,000 units, no? Right? So those are the extreme points, no? Right? Two extreme points, right? So by combining those 2 points, we can do the production percentage. So now normally we go linear, right? But practically we know that the shape of the slope can be changed or it can be convex or concave functions, no? Right? Because the opportunity cost is going to be changed, no? Right? So for simplicity, we can take the linear lines, right? So this is the productive capacity, right? So that explains the full employment of resources, efficient one. So any point on this DPC diagram explain the different combination that we can produce from the two goods that is the computers and the cars, no, right? So there can be different combinations, no, right? Different points, no, right? So based on our choice, no, right? So we know that there is a selection, no, right? So we can select what goods and what quantities, no, right? So that explains those combinations, no, right? Right. So attainable points, right, and unattainable points. So that is important, right, with the utilization of the resources, right? Now, all points inside, no, right? All these points are attainable, no, right? But there is a problem, no, right? We must try to reach to the maximum point, no, right? Boundary, no, right? So if we are here, somewhere here or here, right? So inside the frontier, right? So that we can actually produce those points, right? But we are not utilizing the resources and the technology at their full potential level in point below the PPs, right? Right? Because our capacity is here, no, right? But if we are currently producing somewhere here inside, that means we are not utilizing the full capacity. So that explains the excess capacity, no, right? And the gap is called the output gap, no, right? So there's a gap, no, right? So currently we are producing 1 point here. From here to here, there is a gap, no, right? So that gap is called output gap. So we must try to minimize this output gap, no, right? That means we must try to define on the PPC all the time. So here the problem is underemployment, no, underutilization of resources, no, right? So that explains the problem of not utilizing all the resources and the technology at their full potential level, right? So that's why it says unemployed, the employment, right? Now, if you say the point A is attainable, right? Point B is that also attainable, right? Based on our technology and the resources, right? But point B is more superior, right? And the point A, right? Point B explains the full employment, full utilization of resources and the technology and the maximum output that we can produce from cars and the computers, right? But point A is there is no such a utilization, no, right? Underutilization. So therefore, point B is better off, no, right? Than point A, no, right? Right. Okay. Now if we take point C, yes, point C, what happened? Point C. Is it we cannot based on our capacities, no, right? We cannot produce that point. Okay. That is the production point. No? We cannot reach to that point based on the our resources and the technology, right? The point C is unattainable, right? So that explains the one thing, what is called scarcity concept, scarcity. Based on the resources that we have and the technology, we cannot produce at the point C, right? So that explains the scarcity problem. Even though people need to go to that point, right? There's a need, right? Wants, are there, desire, but we cannot produce that point in order to satisfy the people, citizens. So that explains the scarcity problem, right? So point C is unattainable. Is it the unrealistic point? Do you think? Point C, the unrealistic point. Right. Yeah. Once we, as we mentioned, that we can expand the resource base and the technology because we are improving the technology, right? And also we can use the resources, even we can attract more investments, more savings, and we can convert all the resources, non-usable resources into usable state. That way, if we produce, we can expand this productive capacity, right? Shifting the PVs into the right, right? And we can reach to that point. Right? Other way, what is the alternative? One way is we can reach to the point C as a production point, by using these two ways, no? Right? What is the other way now? To go to the point C, like C. Is there any other way? No others. Yes, alternative ways. Strategies to reach to that point. How we can do it? Yes. Other ways we can do the trade, no? Right? Trade, right? International trade. You know the we can produce. Now this can be a not the production point. This can be a consumption point through the trade. We can expand encourage the foreign trade, no? Right? We produce based on the comparative advantages, right? So we produce one good, no? Once we can specialize one, right? So the specialization means can produce more from that, right? And the surplus can be as according to the comparative advantage, no? There, no, right? So we can produce excess from that, no? Right? Since we are specializing particular product, no? Right? So we can generate surplus, no? Right? So we don't have the comparative advantage in producing other product, only the one product. Yeah, so we have the comparative advantage and we increase the output, production of that, utilizing more resources, diversifying more resources into that area, right? And we can produce more and we can exchange with other nations, no? So in order to get other products, right? So that means this cannot be a production point, but we can reach to that point, no, by engaging international trade through exchange, no, right? So that is the other way, right? So even though it's we say unrealistic, based on the current status, it is unrealistic, no, right? As a production point, but we can reach to that point, right? If we expand the resource base and the production direction, no? And the other way around is it can be a consumption point because we can satisfy the people by consuming at point C, no? Right? By through the international, right? Right. Okay, right. Now we can explain those things in a BPC diagram. You know that scarcity, no, right? And efficiency, unemployment, no, right? Opportunity cost, growth, no, right? All these things, no, right? So now an example is we know that scarcity, unattainable points, right? Now the point A and B are attainable, right? The point C is unattainable, no, right? So, but that explain the point C is according to the given resources and the technology, we cannot reach to that point, right? So that explains the scarcity problem, right? Okay. So basically, because this is our production capacity, boundary, no, right? So we cannot reach to that point. So we are bounded, right? So based on our available resources and the technology, right? Okay. And efficiency and inefficiency, efficient points are the any point on the TPC, right? So that explain the what do you call production efficiency, right? Production efficiency, right? So that explains the production efficiency, right? So we utilize all the resources and the technology, right? So we can come to the point on the PPC, right? So at that point, resources are fully utilized, technology also fully utilized, right? So that is another way we know that Pareto efficiency, right? It is an efficient point. full employment level, output level, that is the production efficiency, right? And any point inside the call, inside the points are inefficient, right? Which is there is underemployed, right? Right. Now, on the PPC, all attainable points, right? Explain the production efficiency, right? Okay. Right. So, point A, right, is even though it's attainable, but it does not explain the full efficiency because we are not utilizing the resources, right? Unemployed, right? Inside the party, right? So now, what is happening at point A? Right? Basically, we are not utilizing the resources, fully. Waste, wastage is high, right? That means unemployed, right? For an example, we introduce graduates, right? Finally, they are unemployed, or underemployed, right? They are not utilizing their capabilities at their full potential level when they go to the industry, right? Based on their qualifications and their capabilities, and so on, right? So that means waste resources, right? How much of expenditure government spend, annually, right? For education, right? From primary, secondary, higher level, higher education, right? But finally, most of the graduates are unemployed, right? So unemployed. So that is actually wasting resources, right? So the point A, inefficient, right? So why they are inefficient? Why the point A is called as inefficient point? Because resources are wasted, right? And the other thing is because of the unemployment, right? And therefore we call it as inefficiencies there, right? Because they are not utilizing their capabilities at their full potential, right? Human capital, right? Right. So that is the point A, inefficient point. Right? And now we explain the production opportunity cost that we discussed. So there is a question I gave to you. Right? Can you remember? I asked you to calculate the opportunity cost. How many of you have done? Yes, again, what the value of manage that. Then come to get so you come to here, you require the previous things. So I gave you a case study, right? Can you see that? Okay, so that now I want to talk about it, right? Regarding the groups, right? The post assessment groups. If there are any questions regarding the group, right? You can raise, right? So I need to have a contact point, right? On this group, right? Either a match friend or something. How did I do? You. There are two. You are coordinating your real and you will have two representatives are there, finally you also coordinate. Yeah. Okay, who is the male? Male and is female. He is absent. When Vidya is absent, what is the alternate? But you have the WhatsApp group, right? We can communicate, right? So, okay, like we will talk about that. Now the opportunity cost, we can calculate it. Now what is the opportunity cost? That is the next best alternative forward, right? In the PPC diagram, how do you explain the opportunity cost? So that is the slope of the PPC, right? Slope of the PPC diagram explains the opportunity cost, right? slope. What is the slope here? Now the two goods we are producing, no, right? We take the slope, right? Now we get the linear line, right? So same different combinations are there, no, right? Now this explains the slope, no, right? Right. Slope of this curve, right? Delta x, delta y, no, right? Change, no. Now what is the opportunity cost? Now we are producing two goods here, right? X and y, right? Opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of X. How you calculate? You have to recall your previous things. How you calculate? So the slope of this curve, the deviation, now here we assume linear line, right? This is the opportunity cost. So that is delta x over delta y, right? Delta x over delta y change, no? Right? If you are increasing output from x1 to x2, you have to sacrifice other aspect, other axis of y from y1 to y2, right? Change, change means delta x change, here the delta y change, right? So that is the slope of the curve, right? Slope of the curve gives us the opportunity cost, right? So what is the opportunity cost of x producing x? If we are increasing output by 1 unit, what is the opportunity cost of y? So that is given by delta y over delta x. We say now from x1 we increase 100, right? Change is 100, right? Here you have sacrificed 50. You have to reduce from y1 to y2 means 50, right? So how much? Delta y means 50 divided by 100. There is 0.5, right? So that is the opportunity cost change, right? The opportunity cost of y means other way around. Reciprocal. So delta x over delta y is 2, right? So like that, So that is the slope of the curve, right? So in the production possibility curve, right? So slope of the PPC gives us the opportunity cost. Right? Now we have the right? Now here point C is not but change if we are moving from V1 to V2, no, right? Okay. So we change the computer production and we increase the computer production from 1000 car to 2000. We have sacrificed the cars, right? 800 to 600, right? So, the opportunity cost of producing computers is how much? Here the change is 500, here the change is 200, right? So the opportunity cost of computers means producing one computer, right? In terms of cars, right? We can explain, right? How much is we can calculate, right? So that is opportunity cost of computers means changing cars divided by changing computers, right? That means 200 divided by 500, no? Right? Right? So this is the slope, no? Right? Slope of the BPC gives us the opportunity cost, right? So that's why in economics we talk about the curves and their slopes, no? Right? Slopes are very important, no? Right? Right. Okay. And you can think about other things, right? So economic growth, how we can explain? How you need to refer the textbook, right? I given you, right? I'm going to this because you already know these things. Right? Am I correct? So the Latino, the Latino, Latino, right? Now you need to think about different way of like some applications that we talk about more in the next step, right? When you talk about the manager or the business economics, some applications, right? But you also, right, you can open your eyes, right? You can think about the applications, right? Right. So the growth means, that is a loan run, no? Loan run, no? So 1 year increase in output sharp. This is an 8% growth last year. So that is not really growth. Economic growth is a long-term phenomenon. Over the period, there should be a rise in output. Steady growth, no? Right. Out the growth එක GDP එක වෙනස් වුණා gap එක වැඩි වුණා previous year එක compare කරනකොට that is not a growth. Right. So it's a rise in output, but as a concept, economic growth is the long-term phenomenon. Right. There should be a rise in the GDP over the period, no? Right. Continuous rise. So that is the, if you draw a trend line, right, there should be an upward trend, no? Right. If you take the economic growth right now, there should be a normally output business cycle, you know that. No? There is a business cycle, right? So if you draw a line, right, trend line, so that explains the growth, no? Right? Steady over the period. There is a rise in the GDP, no? Right? Normally we take the GDP, no? Right? So if you look at year by year, no? Right? No? These are the years, time period, no? This is the GDP, no? Right? Got the data, no? Right? Even in the world output, right? You can consider, no? Right? Over the time, no? Right? So that explains the business cycle, no? Right? So the business cycle. So this is a kind of business cycle, right? So thinking of, no? Right? Now even in the firm, no? Sales, no? Right? You see the turnover also, no? Compare the previous years, no? Going upward, downward, no? Like that. If you look at over the period, number of years, there's a particular pattern. Even you can predict the future, right? Based on that pattern. Using, if you observe the data, right? Using some statistical techniques, regression, right? So you can predict the future, how it can be happen. Right? So that's why we need to think about the past data, right? Right? So we can predict the future. Look at the world output, right, from 1930s up to now. There is a upward and downward, right? We can expect in the future how it can be, right? So that explains the business cycle, right? On here, the rise in the output. So this is the GDP, right? This is the time. What is called that? This is the peak point, no? Right? So this is the expansion, right? Rise in the output. When the output is increased, what happens? GDP increase, employment increase, investment increase, no, right? So those things here, right? Unemployment increase, no, right? And then what happens? All the time we cannot after Sikura taking any answer, right? That can be after that, when they come to the peak, then there will be another exam where both things, right? Right. So this is the recession, no? Right? So this is the recession, no? Right? And come to the minimum point, no? Right? Now, and contraction, no? Right? Output, no? Right? So that is the recession, no? Right? When there is a recession, what happens? GDP decrease, no? Right? Employment the decline, unemployment decrease, and the investment decrease, right? So we see some kind of contraction of output level, right? And like that it can be happen, no, right? Expansion. So this is the what we call this from here to here, one business cycle, no, right? So there are cycles, different cycles, right? Now here what we can do, right? So we can plot the trend line for that, right? Once you observe, right? So that is the, we can see how it is moved, right? There is a growth, right? So we can see there is steady growth, right? And that, right? So we see this expansion and contraction over the time period that we identified as the business cycle, right? So, expansions, maximum, minimum points, no, right? And the contractions, no, right? So, over the period, the GDP, right? Right. So we can see how the growth is occurred, right? So that's a long term, no, right? That's a long term. So, not particular 1 year, no, right? I think the GDP. So the B, right? Now in the BPC diagram, right? We can explain the growth that means if there is a rise in the productive capacity, no, right? So that is the growth, no, right? How we measure the growth in economic growth? How we measure GDP? Change in GDP, no, right? We take the change in GDP compared with the previous year, no, right? Previous year divided by previous year GDP, no, right? Into 100. That is economic growth, right? 2000 is the year, right? Say the 2000 GDP, 2023, say 3,500 million or something. GDP 2002, 2001. So how we measure GDP growth? Growth how we measure? Now the compare, now we are going to measure the growth in 2023. Right? 2023. So comparing the previous year, the GDP growth rate, the change is how much? We have previous year GDP is 1,001 into 100, right? So that's the growth, right? It's a 25% growth, right? Right. So that is the change in nominal GDP, right? Nominal. Change in the nominal, monetary value, right? Economic growth, we take the real change in the real GDP, right? Real terms, right? We need to exclude the price changes from this monetary value, right? In other words, we need to measure GDP at constant prices, right? So those things we will talk about later, right? Right. So that is here the GDP is based on the market value. That's a high value, high value, because market value highly increased, right? With the inflation, right? Prices are changed, they, right? To measure the, if you assess the GDP in the market price, right? According to the current price is different, right? But we need to think about the real, right? Exclude the price change. So that's why we need to remove the price changes. We need to measure the GDP at constant prices, right? Removing the pricing differentials, right? So that may reduce the growth rate. So that's real physical. So this is the GDP at market price. That's why we take high value, right? That is the way of measuring the growth, right? You have to compare the GDP with the previous year divided by the previous year GDP into 1, right? So if there is a rise in the GDP over the period that we identified as the growth, right? So rise in the GDP means it expands the productive capacity. In the BPC diagram, if it is shift to the right, that explains the right. So how we can do that one? Incorporating more labor, more capital, more resources, like we mentioned, and the technology, right? So we can expand the productive capacity. So that X will explain by shifting the BPC to the right, right? So earlier unattainable points become attainable, right? Because we expand the productive capacity, right? So that we will change, right? Our capacity to expand, right? So our boundary line shift like earlier unattainable points become. So that is the goal, right? Now another way, right? Basically, we take into production function, right? In our classical production function, we take the land and the capital, right? Two factors of production, right? So this is the capital labor, right? We combine in the production process, labor and the capital, right? Basically, right? So now this is the line, right? Now we have the different combinations. We will change this. So how we can achieve the goal, right? These are the capital goods. So this is the consumer goods, right? So that explains if we invest more and more for the production, we need to have a capital, so that machineries, equipment, right? Right. And other thing is consumption. It will end up in the consumption, right? If we have a capital good, that can be used in the production process continuously, right? So once you consume, so that will finish, right? So we have to do both consumption and the investment, like that. The consumables and the capital goods, right? This is our production capacity, right? Now let's say, right now, one point here, we are producing A1, C1, right? This communication, right? So we increase the capital production, right? From A1 to A2, increase the consumption from C1 to C2, right? So that means we change this ratio, right? A over L, consumption What happened now? We are producing more capital means the more capital goods, no? Right? So we are moving from A to B, right? So that can be regenerate, right? More goods, no? Right? So that means if this slope change means we are having the steeper, so slopes become steeper, right? That means we are producing more capital goods than the consumer. So we sacrifice consumption goods for the capital goods, right? We reduce the consumption right, from C1, C2, C3, like that. Increase the capital production from K1, K2, K3, like that. So the slope of this K over C increase, no, right? Becomes steeper, no, right? So what happens? So if we are going A to B means we take one, moving from these 2 points, right? From A to B, we produce more capital goods. These capital goods used in the production process, right? So that actually expand the production capacity, right? Right. Producing more capital goods, no? That may also shift the PVC to the right, no? Right? The future, no? Right? If we sacrifice consumption for the capital, no? Right? That means growth can be achieved, right? We produce more capital goods, right? Growth expansion of the capital goods, no? Capital accumulations, no? Right? Increase the productive capacity of the economy, so we can expand output level, no? Right? So what is the requirement? We need to sacrifice consumption for investment, no? Right? We sacrifice the current consumption for future investment, no? Right? We can increase the GDP, no? Right? So that is sacrifice current consumption, for future investment. We invest more and more resources toward the production of capital goods, no? Right? So through the investments, capital accumulate, no? Productive capacity increase, shift to the right. What we have to do is we need to sacrifice the consumption, no? Right? We sacrifice අපි අද පාරිභෝජනය කරන්න ඉතිරි කරනවා කියන්නේ. So because our income, we part of the income we consume, other part save, no? Right? අපේ ආදායයෙන් අපි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් කරන්නේ ප්‍රමාණයක් පාරිභෝජනය කරන සුළු ප්‍රමාණයක් ඉතිරි කරනවා. ඉතින් තමයි you can mobilize for investments, no? Right? If we reduce the consumption needs, we can increase the savings, no? Because our income is favorable, right? Right? We can sacrifice the consumption for the savings and the investments. So that means that increase the productive capacity. Individually we do, right? So the people we do, right? As a country, no? Right? We need to sacrifice our consumption for future investments, no? Right? But problem is, from our income, no, more than 85% we allocate for the consumption, no? Right? Because our income is one side is lower, right? So we need to use that income basically for our day-to-day expenses, no? Right? As a human being, right? So our income is not sufficient, that's right. Most of the income we allocate for the consumption. What we have. We can, even though we have the lower income, the lower savings, we can manage the consumption, no? Right? So we can use those savings for the investments, right? And that will probably affect the country's productive capacity, no? So by utilizing those savings for the investments, so that will accumulate capital, right? So that means the thing is, concept is we need to sacrifice the current consumption for the future investments. That means we are moving here to here, no? Right? So, right? Steeper. Steeper slope means AOC ratio is going up, no? Right? AOC. Right. Okay, right? So that is the economic growth, right? So you can think about it, right? So we can achieve the confidence scale growth in the BPC diagram. Okay, right. Last point, we know that we mentioned some kind of we talk about the starting point of the economics, no? 1776 from the Adam Smith, no? Right? And different economics come up with new ideas, no? Right? So new theories develop, no? Right? So that actually pay the pathway to develop the economics, no? Right? Throughout the period, no? And different branches develop, no? Right? We identify those branches as different schools, no? Right? Now that we discuss from here, right? Different schools, evolution of economics, no? From history, starting point is the mercantilism, right? So that is actually called Vanijavadi, no? Right? Before in 16th, 17th century, right? So that basically highlight the trade, right? So with the expansion of the trade, right, and that facilitate for the other activities as well, right? The ancient time, right? Galle even appeared 16th, 17th century Portuguese, different people. Trade එක තමයි basic factor, right? 16th, 17th century they talk about how to develop powerful nation. So, බලවත් ජාතියක් ගොඩනගන්නේ කොහොමද, right? Basically, the strategy is, ideology is the trade, international trade. The trade is different from that current what we are talking now, right? So their trade basically talk about how to accumulate the precise materials, metals, right? So valuable commodities, right? So my basically the if you take in terms of export and import, right? So this mercantilist ideas trade highlight encourage export, discourage imports. Right? So that way they can develop a surplus, no? Right? In the balance of payment. Right? So that surplus can be employed to acquire precise metals, gold, silver, copper, like that. Right? So accumulation of those resources develop a wealthy nation. So that is capital accumulation, no? Right? Like the British period, no? Right? So, by the British, way out of the countries, no? Right? Colonies they maintain, no? Right? So what they did, they actually expand the resources from our countries, no? Right? This valuable commodities. So starting point is the mercantile that is basically associated with the trade, right? So then actually the mercantilist ideas actually explain some ideologies there, right? I'm not going to explain, right? So against that one, the classical economics developed, right? Highlighting this free market, right? Free market, right? And in classical economics, they talk about the government is inefficient, the market is efficient, right? So there should be a market forces to operate in the economy, right? So without any government intervention. Classical ideas develop against the mercantilist ideas. The mercantilists believe there should be a government, but classical economics believe government is not efficient, right? The market is efficient, right? So that's why this again invisible hands, right? Demand and supply, price mechanism, invisible hands. So then the Marxian, you know, the Karl Marx and his ideology, right? So it's also developed, and the neoclassical ideas also developed associated with that, right? Some thoughts, right? So how we maximize the utility, maximize the profit. So they talk about the optimization based on the same classical base, right? Is there, but neoclassical talk about this maximization, how we optimize. That means utility maximizing, that we talk about in the utility theory, right? And profit maximization, those things, right? And then we come to the Keynesian theory, right? So rejecting this classical idea, Keynes developed new ideology, no? Right? So that actually highlight the government intervention. Classical economics believe the government is inefficient, but Keynes theory highlight the government should be there. So basically, classical ideas are supply side factors they talk about, but Keynes talk about the demand side factors. How the demand side factors are responsible in determining output. Classical economics basically, classical, neoclassical, they talk about how the supply side factors, factors of production and the technology is why those factors are important in determining output. So they are the supply side economics, hence demand side economics. Basically, this consumption, investment, government expenditure, export, imports. So those are the demand side, including the money demand, monetary factors. Right? And the monetarist school, that is monetarism, right? So then that was developed, right? Now Keynesian theory from 1776, no, classical ideas developed, and that was prevailed actually those things basically in the top agenda until the Keynesian ideas developed until 1936, right? Keynes died in 1957, right? So then the Keynesian economics actually, Keynes and scholars developed the ideology, right? That is called Keynesian, right? So when we come to the 1970s, what happened? There was a high inflation pressure in the economy. Right? So, inflation, world economy is heated with prices, right? So in 1970s. So basically that was caused by in 1971 first oil price hike. Oil price hike. Again, world economy first oil price hike occurred 1971. That actually fueled the prices in the world, right? For the countries, right? So that's why this Keynesian idea is not supportive in address the problems prevail at that time in 1970s because of the high inflation. The demand side factors is in demand side factors are responsible for the price, no? Right? Aggregate demand versus the price, right? Therefore, the Keynes idea does not support the in 1970s, right? To explain this inflation, right? So that's why the monetary is developed. They talk about the monetary factors, importance of the money demand and the money, why money is important. Because monetarists believe, especially this Milton Friedman and his followers, no, right? Monetarists, right? So they believe the importance of the monetary factors in determining output and employment. That is the monetarism, right? Then the new classical ideas, after that in 1980s, you heard about these growth models, no, right? Solo growth models, Roman growth models, and so on. So that explains the new classical growth theories, right? So they talk about the growth theories, right? How the growth, economic growth or the output determine not only these factors of production, human capital, technology, and all other things, right? The financial sector development even, right? So that also contribute. Because in 1993, we heard about the levy, right? Levy, right? Yes, 1990s, 1992, right? He also incorporate now the financial sector development, right? Identify the set of factors that determine the financial sector development, right? Basically, the credit and the credit to government, private sector. Those are the important factors, right? In this model, maybe, right? So with that actually this growth model further, and right, like that we see the different schools, no, right, time to time. So that explains the evolution of economics, right? In we identified economics basically in our different branches. We talk about micro, macro, no, right? Two branches, right? Positive economics, normative economics, no, right? And the statics, dynamic equilibrium, static equilibrium, dynamic equilibrium, right? And the approach, deductive, inductive, no? How we develop the theories, inductive, really applying, no? That is deductive, like that. And the partial equilibrium, general equilibrium, that is more associated with this microeconomic analysis, this partial equilibrium. Because I talk about the particular aspect, no? Individuals behaving in the market, no? Particular market, how it is equilibrium, how the equilibrium matching, no? Right? If you take a Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, maybe, no? Right? If you take the soft drinks market, no? How the equilibrium, no? Right? Does not talk about the overall economics, only the one aspect, no? Right? So that's why we call it as partial. Architect is a පැතිකඩක් විතරයි බලන්නේ. Macroeconomics is a general, right? Look at the overall economy, general equilibrium situation. Like we thought about at a particular point, particular income level and the interest rate over the markets and the real sector and the monetary sector come to the equilibrium situation. So in the goods market come to the equilibrium, money market, capital market, also in equilibrium at a particular level. So that is kind of general equilibrium. In macroeconomics, we talk about the general equilibrium. Since we look at the overall simply. And in economics, we use other what we call these other aspects also we incorporate when we explain the human behavior, no? Right? In economics, we need to talk about the psychological factors, how the sociology, all these subjects also incorporate, right, in this analysis, support, right? Not only we are looking at some kind of holistic view, no, right? When we explain the human behavior, right? In economics, we are going to explain the human behavior in the society, no, by utilizing the resources and so on. So therefore, in that sense, we use these other aspects, basically in psychology, sociology, political factors also very important, no? Political factors, no, in economics, right? Sometimes political factors are more important, no, than the economic factors, no, right? Because if you look at the crisis situation, why this is debt crisis, mainly there's behind the political factors also play a pivotal role, no, right? This corruption and so on, no, right? Like, right? Therefore, we cannot take it as a one, as a single factor, right? So it's a multi-dimensional factors affecting. We explain the economic phenomena, economic concepts, and so on, right? And these are mathematics, statistics. No, we use highly, no, in economics, no, right? There is a mathematical economics. No, we will study if you are doing a masters in economics, right? Econometrics, that's also very important subject. So that actually combine the mathematics and statistics, no, right? If you are doing a study, right? In economics, if you are going to research, if you are doing a research, right? Even in the finance, no, right? Mostly if you look at the textbooks, right? So many mathematics are there, no, right? Very complicated, no, right? High level, advanced level economics, right? Even in the micro, it's advanced microeconomics, right? Explain all the things in the equation, mathematics. If we are writing, to explain one thing, if we take the utility theory, right? We need to write 2-3 pages, right, to explain the consumer behavior and the utility theory, the graph and so on, right? But that can be explained using the simple equation in mathematics. The slope of these functions and so on, how they equilibrium. So that we use these mathematics. statistics also we use in economics, right? So all these things explain the economics, right? So not only the micro, macro, and micro, right? So it's a combination, it's a philosophy, right? Not a simple, right, thing, right? It's a philosophy, right? It's combined set of factors in different areas, right? And it is development is associated with large number of contributions. So when you look at these schools of economics, right? You can understand the development of economic thoughts, history of economics. So that is contributed by large number of so that explains the overall economic view. That's the thing we are going to study. But here we are looking at only small aspect of that, right? Right. Do you have any questions? Yes. Okay, right. That's about the thing, right? We talk about that. Can you remember, right? I gave you one question regarding this. Right? We are doing. Right? Regarding the opportunity cost, what are the answers? Can you tell me maybe? I gave you one question. The last time, the science. Opportunity cost. I need your answer. This one, right? What is the answer? Quickly, without taking much time, you can tell me. Yes, it's very simple. Just you can give the answer. Now, says the Bala won 5 million rupees. Lottery, no? Right? And he wants to buy a car with that entire, spending 5 million. Car is expected to depreciate 10% value per annum. And the running cost, maintenance and running cost estimated to be 150,000 for a year. And we have given additional information if the prevailing interest rate on the fixed deposit is 12% per annum. So that is the alternative, right? We know that resources have alternative uses. That is the resources are scarce, other one is it has alternative uses. It explains the two alternatives that you can use the, the resources that you have 5 million, right? One is buying a car, other one is deposit in the bank at 12% interest rate. So what is the opportunity cost of buying a car in the first year? So that means the alternative, next best alternative is the foregone interest. So if you spend entirely on banks, is 5 million for the car. So that means you need to sacrifice 12% interest. How much? Huh? 600,000. 12%. Yes. 5 million. Yes. Okay. 600,000. Then they calculate the money value to be assigned to the satisfaction of having a brand new car, using it for a year. Money value. If you have the car, what is the money value assigned to that? using it for a year. That means 10% interest, sorry, depreciation plus running cost. How much? 10% in depreciation. 5 million into 10%, no, right? That is the depreciation of the car per year. And the fixed running cost is fixed per year, 150,000 maintenance. Those two, no, right? Is the money value assigned for having a brand new for the year. And calculate the opportunity cost of investing the money in the fixed deposit. If we choose the investing in fixed deposit, how much is the opportunity cost? That is opportunity cost of the thing again. Now there is opportunity gain, no? Because you no need to spend on the car. No? And 10% depreciation and the running cost is the same, no? Right? The same, no? Right? So there is opportunity gain, right? Okay, right. So we will. Do you have any questions to ask? So we will move to the other one. Right. Before that, now I uh, I gave you a case study, right? Small case, right? So now this is the one, right? That's from this last discussion, right? Based on the scarcity choice economic system. So it explains something, right? The scarcity and the background, right? In a hypothetical economy, right? The choice and the economic systems, right? So you need to uh, give the answer, right? So explain the basic problems having in this economy, right? And also the government, how the government address these issues. We need to identify this system, right? Based on that, you can incorporate your ideas, right, to address these issues, right, prevailing issues, right? They can one thing that explain the basic problem, the scarcity, right, and something to explain the choices that we have. That life, we need to think about it, right? We have different choices given, right, to address the problems in the economy, right? So by looking at the what do you call this importance, right? And based on your ideas, right, you can explain how the government can initiate its role, right, to address those issues, right? So that will be you can write 2-3 pages maximum, right? Maximum 2-3 pages, right? Maximum 3 pages, right? Don't write more, right? So now you will be given 1 week, right, for this, right? So it's in the LMS, right? You need to submit your answer, right? Now I have given a group list as well, right? Now I actually identified this online platform, right, and the physical platform, right? Two groups are in online platform, others are in physical platform, right? Other groups, right? So you can go through the group, right? I mentioned here in there, and if you have any question, you can raise any issues with the group. Is it okay? These groups, right? I identified 4 groups. Are they active members? I don't know, right? So, but you need to check whether you are available in a group, right? Whether they have you are in the sufficient number of group. So when you actually start your group discussion, right? You need to identify the group leader, right? Okay. So I will upload those details in the LMS as well, right? So the group leader, right, can communicate with the others, right? Organize the task, right? And assign the duties to your group members, right? How to work on the question, right? And you need to compile the answer, right? With the support of all the members in the group, right? And finally, group member need to be submitted. Only one member, right? Only one member that you need in the group, he or she can submit the answer to the elements, right? Who submit no matter. Okay. So you need to mention your group names, right? Index numbers, right? The cover page. Right? Those who actively participate in the group work, you can highlight. Right? If you identify if there is no other members, right? In your group, they are not working, right? You can exclude them, right? Only you can submit those who actively participate in your group discussions, right? Okay. Based on their contributions, right? So, is it okay? These groups, can you negotiate with them? ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ද ඒගොල්ලව සම්බන්ධ කරගන්න පුළුවන් නේද group members අද ඒකද ඉන්නව නේද ඒගොල්ලෝ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැද්ද? Now the online there are 2 groups, right? So those they need to discuss their problem. Now the issue with the online platform, right? So they also need to identify the group leader, and he or she can submit the answer to the LMS before the deadline. Okay. Okay. Is there any concern?
Hello.
Okay. Right.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I was newly joined. This is my first week. This is my first class, and I didn't join in the group.
Yes. Silent, please. Yes. What is your question?
Sir, I newly joined. Today is my first class. So since I newly joined, I don't have any group. Actually, I'm online overseas.
You are joining online, yes?
Can you hear me, sir?
I can't hear you properly. Yeah, online you need to submit now. There are certain members joining the online platform, right?
Uh,
So I
Hello, sir.
identify according to the list given to me. So I actually allocated them into two groups, right? So if you don't have, I don't know whether they are available or not, right? According to the list provided to me, so I allocated those members, those who identified as the online members, into two groups. Right? So if there is any concern regarding the online group members, right? So you can negotiate with me, right? So and better if you can send me your email or something, right? If you have any concern.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you.
I think now if you, in group A is the online first group. There are four members, and the group D also online, right? There are five members. Some are overseas, some are local online. So see whether you can discuss with each other, right? Find the other group members, right? And you can have a discussion with them, right? And the group leader can arrange the discussions and assign the tasks to other members, right? And finally, you need to compile your document and need to submit to the online platform. Okay?
Okay, sir. My question is now. Can you hear me now, sir? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is
sir.
it?
I joined this week only. This is my first class.
You joined today. This week, today first week.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes. If you are a newcomer, right, you can join this week, right? You need to discuss with the other members how the materials are available in the LMS and the recording also, I think, will be available, right? Still, that is not uploaded to the LMS, right? Last week recording, right? So I will check with the office, right? So definitely they will upload the recording, right? Last week, right? You can go through the recordings and the other materials, and also you need to refer the text materials, right? That means the recommended text, right? Whenever necessary, right? In order to
Okay, sir.
get understanding about the things that we discussed, right? Definitely you need to refer the materials, right? And the recommended readings in order to elaborate your knowledge on the subject, right? Because in the lecture time you will give the essence, right? Other things you need to refer, right? If you have any doubt, you can raise your questions and you can contact me as well, right? So, and you can discuss with your colleagues, right? In your groups as well, right? So,
That's the
okay.
problem, sir. I don't have a group, so can I join in group A?
You are not in the group.
Yeah,
What's your name?
my name is Murshid.
Actually, I included this group list, the list given to me, right? Based on the list given to you, right? So better if you are not in the group, right? You can include that into group A. Since there are four members, and you can send me your details,
Okay, sir.
your number and the name and the things. You can email to me. Then I will include. Okay.
Okay, sir. Some may I know your email address, sir?
Sorry?
May I know your email address so that I can share?
See, I will actually, you have now you have the WhatsApp group, no? You are in the WhatsApp group? Are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir. I joined the WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Yeah, I will send my details to the WhatsApp group, right? Then you can
Okay,
see
sir.
and you can send me if there is any concern, right? You send me your details, right? Then I will update the group list accordingly. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, so if there is any concern, we can change the group, right? Any updations, right? We can do so, right? So this is I think it is provided to me, right? So if we have the members, those who are not in the group, right? Please email to me, right? So then I will include them, right? So we are moving to the next lecture two, right? Today, actually, that is the next part of that, right? So we are going to talk about this demand, supply, and equilibrium, right? Maybe give you my details. Right. Now, as we mentioned in the last day, right? So in this principles of economics, basically we talk about there are two aspects we are going to cover, right? One is the micro and the aspects, and the other one is the macroeconomic aspect, right? Now, starting from the microeconomics, as we identified, right? See, the microeconomics basically talk about the individual's behavior, right? We need to talk about the individuals, how they behave in the market, right? How the consumer behave in the market, how the producer behave in the market environment, right? And how they are going to satisfy themselves, right? So satisfaction means the utility, right? We arrive by consuming goods and service, right? The consumer satisfied utility, right? Maximize the utility, right? By consuming different goods, bundle of goods, right? Based on its income, right? And the producer's behavior we discuss in a different point, right? So under the different theory as well, right? Under the theory of the firm, right? So demand and supply explain the individual's behavior, right? How the consumer behaves, supply explain how the producers behave in market environment. So we are going to look at those things, right? Basically, right? So first we look at we identify the market, right? So there are the nature of the market first we are going to talk about, right? And today we know that there is a developed market environment, right? Unlike the traditional market, right? We have the modern market, sophisticated market with the technology. And then we talk about the equilibrium, right? So the forces in the determination of equilibrium, those are the demand and supply forces, price mechanism, and then we identify the determinants, what determine the demand, what determine the supply. So the basic determinants we need to identify, and we identify the nature of the demand exchange, right, and the market equilibrium, and then when you talk about this market, actually the price mechanism, it assumes the market forces without any government, right? In the price theory, basically we assume pure market, right? That means market demand and the supply forces purely operate, right? Without any third party involved. But we can see how now practically we see in the market, right? So much of interventions, right? So therefore we will see how this model change with the government interventions, right? Your market model, how it is going to be changed with the government, right? And then we identified the different markets and their impact with this some kind of tax and impact on this market, right? And so minimum, maximum prices and so on, right? Those things. So that's a part of this one, right? This discussion we are going to cover, right? Okay. So what is the market? First, we need to identify the market, no, right? So the market is explained kind of what you call negotiations or kind of what we call is where the buyers and sellers interact with each other, right? So that is the market, right? So, for the purpose of exchanging goods and services, right? So earlier, without any market, you see, there in the early systems, right? Under the barter system, there's a direct exchange from face-to-face market. Very traditional, no, right? The barter system, no? There's a face-to-face market. That's also market, no? Buyer and seller directly meet, right? It's a market, simple market, traditional market, face-to-face, physical contact. Now, the purpose is we are going to exchange goods and service in order to satisfy their requirements. Right? So, the market facilitate for the exchange of goods and services. Right? Right. And we can say it's an effective arrangement. Right? So, bringing buyers and sellers into a contract. Right? If there is no market, how the people are interacting? That's a problem. So, in order to facilitate the transaction, that means that they ensure a smooth, right, transaction, right, between the buyer and seller. Right. Without market, we cannot explain that one, how the physical and the monetary flows. Right. In the different markets, we see physical and the monetary flows. Money pays, pay money, and the other side, get something. Right. For an example, goods market, right? We pay for the goods and services, right? And say there's a monetary flow, right? Payment, and the real flow coming from the supplier to the demand. There's a real and the monetary flow. That is the exchange. So since the money acts as an intermediator, we facilitate for this transaction. Right? So the market ensures a smooth function. The transaction between the buyer and the seller. Right? So there is no fixed location, no? Right? So now the current market is actually, we say it's a market we identify now. The ground level, in the national level, international level, the markets are identified, right? So the regional level, right? Right? So small markets, right? So there is a physical place, but it's not to be a physical place, right? Now we know that this market is the site, right? There is no direct face-to-face contact, right? So we can do the transactions in without seeing far away, right? The countries, right? So there is ways and means of exchanging goods and services, right? So the market facilitates for exchanging goods and services without any face-to-face contact or without any face, right? Now the development of this transport system, right? Communication system, and also the banking system, right? Facilitate for the market, right? Exchange goods and services. Now we know that there are multiple transportations. One to send goods and services, right? The other destinations, other countries, use ships and airways, maybe air transport, right? Between, trucks and so on, right? So there is multiple transportation and also the communication system, right? We, money remittance even. You can send the money, right, quickly, right? using these communication systems, right? The banking networks as well, right? We know you can go to Western Union, right? And there are some organizations also developed the network in the computer network, switch organizations, right? Likewise, and also some kind of arrangements are there in order to transfer money between the nations, right? And you can use new technology, telex, and something, right? Money orders, there are money orders, international money orders, and so on. Delegate transfers, right? Easily. Likewise, different techniques are there. And also these banks play a pivotal role as banking. So we can see all these things, right? The developments that facilitate for the market, right, to function smoothly, right? All these things, right? So people are exchanging goods and services from thousands of miles away to these developments, right? So there is no face-to-face contact, right? So in the dealing with those things, right? We can identify those markets on the different scales, right? Now, for an example, the traditional market. Normally, this channel fruits, vegetables, those things are going on. So, right? And the national level, national market, right, for the consumer goods, and the world market, you know that is eat apple coconut, right, in our country, right? So we use the exporting, right, and the garments, right, there are some other developments as well, like non-traditional products, right? So, in the world market. The different, we can identify the different goods, right? Going to be the markets from national levels to the international level traded, right? So we can identify this market, regional market, national market, and the world market. So, but in economics, we identified the market in different ways, right? So, when we explain the things, right? So, we identified the goods market, right? Goods market, mainly the forces are, we identify two forces according to our explanations. So, the demand for goods and the supply of goods, right? Those are the two forces, right? And when you come to the factor market, right? So we have factor demand, factor supply. Right? There are suppliers, and the other side demand. So the factor demand comes from the firms, we supply factors, mechanisms. Right? And the forex market, in between that we can identify the financial market, right? Financial market. So there is actually basically there is a demand for funds and the supply of funds, right? Okay. So those are the forces, right? One side, those are the investors and savers. Now, for an example, goods market, right? So that is the two goods, X and Y, right? Demand, supply, demand for demand, right? Demand for and the price, right? Particular product, right? Supply, demand, and supply. So that product is product X. So that is the price and the money. So the product X. So that is the goods market, right? And when it comes to the factor market, so this is the wage rate is determined and the employment level, right? Demand and the supply. Demand for labor, supply of labor, okay. One factor, right? This is the labor market, right? So that determines the wage rate. Right? and the employment level. This is the number of hours that we use, right? At wage rate, particular wage. So we talk about the real wage. And when it comes to the financial market, so this is the savings and the, let's say this is the demand for funds, supply of funds, right? So demand for funds. Supply of funds. Right? So that actually what does it determine? Determine the interest rate. And this is the total quantity that we are going to demand. Now the demand for funds means who demand funds? Those are the investors. Those are the two parties we identify. The investors, they have the shortage of funds. So they demand funds. And the supply of funds means who are the suppliers? Savers. So those are the two parties involved in the financial market. The demand for funds and the supply of funds. That explains the savings and the investments. So this is INS. So this determines the interest rate, equilibrium interest rate, and the equilibrium quantity. So that is the financial market. And when it comes to the forex market, what happens? There is a forex demand and the forex supply. Foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange. Foreign exchange market. Forex market. So there also we identify the demand for foreign exchange, demand for dollars, and the supply of dollars. Right? Demand for dollars and the supply. This is the demand. So in each market we identify the market forces, right? So that's why we identify it as an invisible hand, right? So two parties, right, interact with each other. Here the consumers and the producers, here the labor and the firms, right? Suppliers of factors of production and the firms, here the demand for funds, investors and the savers, right? Here the demand for foreign exchange and the imports and the exports, basically. Importers and exports. Who demand dollars? Here, who demand dollars? We need dollars for imports, goods and services. We need to convert our rupee into dollars, right? We have the rupees, right? If we are importing goods from the other destinations, we need to convert our rupee into dollars. So this is the dollar demand. In other words, that is called rupee supply. This is the supply of rupee. Supply of domestic currency, because here we are going to talk about the dollar exchange rate. $1 equals how many rupees? How it is 200, 360 rupees. Dollar rupee rate. That is the exchange rate. Conversion rate. Our value, currency value, external value. Then we determine the external value. How we convert, right? How we exchange the currencies. How we determine the exchange rate. Right? So this is the demand for dollars. Who demand dollars? Importers. Right? These are the importers. We are importing goods, no? Right? We are going to say you are going to import a car from Japan. Right? Right? So you need to have the rupees, right? But you cannot pay in rupees. They are not Japanese. They are not accept rupees. So there is an international accepted currency. Either you have BCM, or dollars, or euros, right? Hard currencies, right? Internationally accepted currency. You need to convert into those currencies. Basically, we use the dollars, right? Now you need to convert our into dollars. That means you supply the rupee. This is the rupee supply. Downward curve rupee supply. That is, in other words, we can say demand for dollars. Right? So who demand dollars? Importers. This is the one force we identify, importers. Right? And the supply of dollars, who supply dollars? The foreigners, right? Foreigners. If they are getting, if they demand our products, no? They need to supply their dollars, they need to ask our rupees, no? Right? This is the supply of rupees. In other words, there is a demand for rupee. Demand for rupees, rupee demand. Right? Who demand rupees? Rupees foreigners. For the when we are exporting, right? So we get dollars, right? Foreigners, they need to convert their dollar into rupees. So that's why they demand rupees. Foreigners, they demand. So this is the export. These are the exporters. Export demand. Parties are the exporters. So this is the export demand, import, export supply, import demand. Right? Two axes, right? For demand is demand for dollars, that is import demand, right? Supply of dollars, that is export supply. Demand for rupee, supply of rupee. Right? So that determines the dollar rupee rate. That is the exchange rate. This is the foreign exchange market. Right? Foreign exchange market. Right? So this is one foreign exchange. Never mind. The rate. Right? So that we identified the market different forces, right? All the markets. In economics, we identify this commodity goods market, and we identified this factor market, forex market, financial market, or the fund market, right? All the market we see the market forces operate, right? And they actually those are the what you call it, opposite forces operate at a particular point. Both parties come to a common agreement. So that we identify as the equilibrium. Right? All the parties satisfied at a particular point. There is no inducement to change their behavior at the equilibrium because they are satisfied. They are in a stable stage. Right? So that means if you take this demand, this is the actually this point. This is the equilibrium point. Resource allocation is sufficient when both parties are satisfied, right? So demand and the supply. Consumers, they are satisfied. Suppliers also satisfied. That means we produce an output at a minimum cost, right? At a minimum cost, right? At a utilization of resources, efficient way, right? In order to satisfy the social needs, right? So at this point, we achieve what is called allocative efficiency. Allocative efficiency. Because we produce to satisfy the society, consumers and the producers. Right? So both parties are satisfied. Right? Resources also allocate efficiently, right? So there is no overproduction, no underproduction, right? So that is called allocative efficiency. So in the market. And the equilibrium point, we see there is allocative efficiency, right? So this is, in other words, you can say this is the marginal cost curve, this is the marginal benefit curve, right? The equilibrium, when there is allocative efficiency, marginal cost equal marginal benefit, that means demand equals supply, right? So those are the things, right? Okay, right? So we can identify those markets, right? Different markets. Right? In economics, we talk about the market behavior, how these market forces operate, and how the equilibrium is determined, how the resources are allocated accordingly to satisfy those markets. Right? Now, what further movement, right? So we identified the economics, right? And go further, right? By looking at the different features of the market, right? So the interaction of the consumers and the producers, right? And the product, the nature of the product development, right? So we identify the different markets. It's all we identify this perfectly competitive, monopoly, monopolistic competitive, oligopoly market. Right? So those things identified based on the competition, right? Based on the number of buyers and sellers in the market, right? And the nature of the product going to be sold in the market. Sometimes product is homogeneous, right? Sometimes product is not homogeneous. If the products are identical, all the producers supply, right? So there's a that also influential factor, right? And whether there's a control by the supplier, right? Sometimes supplier has 100% control over the market. Sometimes one supplier has no control over the market. Whether they can influence in the market. Based on that, we can identify the different market segments. So that will identify different market structures. Right? That will vary from perfectly competitive market to monopoly market. In between that, we can identify this monopolistic competition and the oligopoly market. Perfectly competitive market means purely these are the perfectly competitive market. Demand and supply forces operate without any government intervention. Right? These are the perfectly competitive market. Purely the market forces operate, demand and supply. There is no intervention of the government or third party involvement is not there, no restriction. They can freely operate in the market. It's a perfectly competitive market, right? So there are a set of features that explain the market to be a competitive, right? Depending on the competition between the buyers and the sellers. And the other one is the monopoly, right? Monopoly market means so there's the market forces are there, but one firm operates in the market. So they have the monopoly power, right? For an example, if you take earlier we had the shell gas, right? Before this other Gunda gas and the Lab gas, we had only shell, right? That is legal monopoly, government granted that license to operate, right? So there's only one firm operating, right? That's a monopoly market. Now if you take the tobacco, monopoly market. Ceylon tobacco, cigarettes and something, right? So likewise, if one firm operates, it's monopoly. So the monopoly can control the market by supplying their product. Right? They have this sole authority to determine the supply. They can limit the supply, price will increase. So if you increase the supply, price will decrease because there is a normal demand and the supplier can control the market either by controlling the quantity, either by controlling the price. This is the monopoly. And in between that, we identify this oligopoly and the monopolistic competition. Two extreme points are the perfect competition and the monopoly. In between that, those are actually hybrid moves, right? Some perfectly competitive features also there, and the monopoly features also there, right? So we identify this monopolistic competition and oligopoly. If there are few firms operate, more than two in between six, right? That is oligopoly, right? If there are monopolistic competition, now if you take the banking industry, right? There are 20, 25 banks who operate, so monopolistic competition. So the number Not very high, right? Right. That's okay. There's some sort of competition also there, right? And some sort of monopoly powers also there. So that is proven. So we can identify those markers as well. So we will be able to study those things in the latter part of our course. Right. Right. Those are the things. Okay, any questions? Now we are coming to the theory of the firm, right? We can take the break, right? After the break, 10 minutes, we will start the demand, right? So if you have any questions before the break, any questions, any concern? Okay, you can take the break, right? And decision එකක් විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ යනවා නේද කියලා. ඒ දෙකම දාන්න. නැත්නම් ඔක නිකන් අපේ ස්ටාෆ් එකේ කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා නේද? එයාගේ මම කියන්නේ කොහොමද දන්නේ කියන එක. එයා සම්බන්ධයක් නැහැ මම හිතන්නේ එයාගේ නම් මම ඉන්නේ එයාගේ තියෙනවා ඔක චේන්ජස් එකක් කරන්න තියෙනවා. ඒකයි මම මේක කියලා දැම්මේ. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඩිසිෂන් එක එතනම මම කියලා දාන්න නැත්නම් මේක දාලා තමයි මේක කියලා දැන් පේපර් එකක් කරන එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ අපිට පේපර්ස් තියෙනවා නේද? අතම ඇවිල්ලාද තියෙන්නේ? I can then complete වෙච්ච ඒවා තාම කියන්න තියෙනවා. අනිත් ඒවා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් ඔක පේපර් එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ අපිට නම් අර්ථය ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න. සමහර දේවල් තියෙනවා ඉම්ප්‍රූව් වෙන්නේ යාට ඇටෙන්ෂන් එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ඉතින් කොයි විදිහටම යවන්න මේන මයින් කියලා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ එඩිටෝරියල් පොත් ඩිසයින් එක විදිහට මයින් කියලා යවන්න. ඒ කන්ඩිෂන් එක දාන්න අනිවාර්යෙන් දෙන්නගම රිවිව් කමෙන්ට්ස් ඇඩ්‍රස් කරලා එවන්න. ඔව්. Okay. Okay, Lake. Where are you come from? Ah, not very far. Are you an officer? Where are you working? Sunday is working. Where complete the task is given. So even you are working Saturday, Sunday both. Task oriented. Is it special audit or something? You are in the full time working there, or you are completing your interns? Full time. Then we say for 5 days you are working. Then if you are working Saturday, you need to pay extra time for that. So it from their labor exploitation, so, right? Taking the maximum, no? Right? Okay, shall we start? So, am I going fast? Fast technical now? Yes? No. No. Right. No. So now we are going to talk about this theory of the demand, right? So that's so how the consumer. Now we are talking about the consumer behavior, right? That explain. Now we use the demand curve on site we explain, and then first we identify the demand curve, right? So that we know that it's a downward sloping vector, right? No? Right? So that explains the consumer behavior. It explains the inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demand, no? Right? That's why we have the negative slope down here, right? So then we look at what is the theory behind this downward sloping, or why there is a negative relationship between the price and the quantity demand, right? So basically, you know that there are two reasons, no, that we explain why there is a downward sloping curve, because of the substitution effect and the complementary effect, no, right? And you remember, yeah? Two factors, no, we identified, no, why there is a, so why the law of demand prevails, no, right? Why there is a law of demand, that explains the negative relationship between the, since there is a substitution effect and the complementary effect, no, right? Sorry, supplementary and the income effect, no? Substitution effect and the income effect. Sorry, I made a mistake, right? Substitution and the income effect, no, right? Because when there is a price change, you need to substitute, no? Some kind of substitution is there, because we assume the perfect competitive market, so many substitutes available in the market, no? So the price theory, demand supply setting, we are working with the perfectly competitive market setup, no? Right? So there are actually important notable feature is the so many substitutes are there, no? That's why the competition creates, no, right, in the market. So there is a substitution, no, right? And also with respect to the price change, we know that there is an income effect also, no, right? When the price increase or decrease, what happened? Not the nominal income, real income change, no, right? So there that explains the income effect as well. So that's why we have the downward sloping demand. Right? Those are the two reasons, no, right? So if you go further, right? So why there is the negative relationship between the price and the quantity demand? So that explains the theoretical side, this utility theory and the indifference law analysis. So you look at that one also, right? To explain this consumer behavior, right? Now demand, right? Now we know that demand, that is the consumer side, that we have the strong voice, no, right? Demanding goods and services, no? We think that we are the giant in the market, no? We are the king. Consumer is the king, no, right? Consumer sovereignty is there, no, right? පාරිභෝගික අධිපත්‍ය එහෙම එකක් තියෙනවා. ස්වාධිපත්‍ය කියලා එකක් නෙවෙයි. Do you have the ස්වාධිපත්‍ය in market? Can you control the market? Even though, right? So you have the, you demand the goods, no, right? So by changing the demand, we believe that market can be changed, no, right? But instead of that, supplier take the leading role, no, right? Supplier control the market, no, right? Because of the advertising and so on, no, right? So those are the other factors that affect the demand, no, right? We identify one model, that's it, right? So that explain not only the price, there are so many factors, no, right? Affecting demand, right? So consumer is the not the king, no, right? So we are actually guided by the supplier, sometimes controlled by the suppliers, no, right? But that totally different in the imperfect market situation, no, right? If the monopoly market create, no, right? So instead of consumer has some right is not there, no, right? So supply control the market, right? No, right? So that is the thing, no, we are talking about, right? Now the demand, but we believe that demand is the main factor, no? Source, main, that's why we identified as the invisible hand, no, right? One side in the market, no? So the demand perform important role there, no, right? In determining the prices, no, right? Because we believe by changing the demand, not the individual, by group, no, but as a whole, right? So we can change the price, no, right? When there's a change in the demand, no, right? So if there's a decline in the demand, right, that will affect the market, no, right? So price will come down. Right? So that will happen, right? Now when we talk about the demand, theory of the demand, so the demand is important, right? Factor, right? In the market, we believe, right? But practically there are so many issues are there, no, right? So that is actually, that's why here we mentioned it's an important concept, no? Right? Important factor, important force that control the firms to create, no? Right? And survival and the profit also depends on that, right? You agree with that? Do you agree with this statement? That is important, essential. We identify, like, but there are certain exceptions are there, no? Right? We also it's essential, right? Creating the price, you know, determining the price, because suppliers also have some influence, you know, right? But itself, it has some control, you know, right? So that is essential, you know, right? Especially it's essential creating the business. Now, suppose if you are going to start a business, you know, right? One day you have to start a business, you know, there will be future businessmen here, right? Convenience, you know, right? We manage the business even sometimes, right? So creating a business, when you are starting a business project, so first we look at, right, whether there is sufficient demand, right? So we will investigate, we will make some experiments to see there whether there is a sufficient demand for the product, right? We are inventing new product, for the market. The market experiments you do, right? And you get some idea about the demand. So that means the creating business, right? That also depends on demand, right? If there is no demand, you know that you will use some business operations started, right? After some time, if there is no demand, right? Those businesses close down, right? There is no continuation, right? That will happen. Right? So in that point, the demand, producers or suppliers, consumers demand is very important, right? Creating business, right? Continuing the business. So that will ensure the continuity of the business as well, right? And that's why we say survival, long-term establishment, right? Depends on the demand. And also the profit, right? Now the profit depends on the demand main, the profit is the difference between the total revenue and the total cost, right? Right. So the profit that depends on the total revenue also depends on the cost of, right? Now the total revenue, how we take the total revenue? Here is the total revenue. Price into quantity, right? PK, right? Price into quantity. That's the total revenue. This quantity means demand, right? How much demand? Total revenue, sales, right? So profit mainly depends on the total revenue and the total cost. If the total revenue increase, profits also increase, right? We assume the total cost remain unchanged, right? So therefore, this demand is very important in determining the revenue and affect the profit as well, right? If the revenue increase continually, profit margin also enlarge, right? So therefore, that says the demand is very important, that coming from the consumer side, right? So that's why we are saying, so business, the demand is essential, important, play a pivotal role in the market, in the business operations, right? And the survival of the business, that also, the continuity of the business also depends on the market demand, right? And also the profits also depends on demand. And demand is the willingness and ability to buy various quantities. How we define demand? Your willingness and ability to buy different quantities, remain at different prices. So that those are the willingness and ability. Those are the main things, right? But if we really explain what factors cause to demand, we can identify three factors. One is the desire to buy, other one is willingness to buy, and the ability to pay. So what is the difference? Desire means you should have a desire, right? If there is no desire, right, you will not First impression is very important, right? Yeah, it's asset. Right? That's also very important. First impression I have a book in it. Yeah. So, attraction and current, there's no purchase. There's no demand. You also not trying market. But first impression is very, very important, right? And that is one thing, no? Desire. You should have a desire, no? Right? Now that's why most of the women, right? Ladies, when they are shopping, what they do, they are going with them whatever. They buy one, they buy. They are looking at no go like Saga can get to right? So they those are the guys, right? Desire of that, the desire. Right? Sometimes they may have there is a desire means to buy a sari, no? Right? Between different choices, no? Right? What we are done in right? What happened? Why there is no such a demand? Why they are not willing to buy it? Because other two things also must be considered. Willingness, no? Right? Desire the thing, but if you once you ask the price, right? Means suddenly that affect when you be a shop, no? Right? Sometimes, no? So that means willingness to pay is not there, no? Right? Desire, willing, we are not willing to pay such amount of money to buy that. Right? So there are other variety of things are there in the market, right? You have to look at that also, right? So that means desire and the willingness to pay, no? Right? Kata ketunan එක ගන්න right? We compare the payment that you have made and the satisfaction you derive, no? By consumer. So that is as a human being, no? Right? There is such calculation is there, no? Right? Automatic. No? Right? That means price should be equal to the marginality that you get. Yeah. If you pay, right? If you get a certain level of satisfaction, required level of satisfaction that you get. If you can get it, you will pay. Even though you have the money, right? Otherwise, you will not pay, right? Even though you have money, spending such money, if you are not getting such satisfaction, you are not ready to buy. So that means willingness to buy also should be a one condition, no? Right? Even though the desire is there, right? And the other thing is the ability, no? Right? You should have a purchasing power, no? Right? Only the end, right? You must have money in your pocket, no? Right? Just right. If you go to the market and see, right, the goods desire, willingness to pay, but you don't have money in the pocket, right? So the demand will not occur, no? Right? So that is called effective demand. If these three things are satisfied, that is called effective demand. Right? So if you have no purchasing power, ability is not there, right? The desire and willingness, right? So that is just a demand, right? You would like to demand, but you are not going to buy it, no? Right? And consume it, no? Right? So that's the just demand and the effective demand, right? Okay. So in order to create a demand, right, there are three conditions need to be satisfied. There should be a desire and a willingness to pay, and you should have purchasing power to buy it. So even though if you have a desire and the willingness, so there finally this will not execute, right? So there is no money. That's also very important, right? So that's why we say the scarcity, right? So sometimes that also affects this, right? Demand, right? Right. So there's a link with this scarcity also, right? Right. That is the effective demand. Okay. Now there are different types of demand. Can you remember these demands? One is called direct demand and the indirect demand, individual demand and the market demand. Okay. One is direct demand. Yes. You are talking. What's your name? Huh? Yasa. Rasa. Okay. Rasa, can you tell me what is direct demand? Without looking at just give you an idea. Direct demand, you demand for the purpose of consumption, no? Right? That is end up with the consumption. No? Right? Where you will that one, as we highlighted in the goods market. Right? So that is, purpose is in order to get the satisfaction, you need to consume. No? That's why you demand goods and services in the goods market. That is direct demand. Right? And the indirect demand means demand for factors of production in the factor market, no? Right? Yeah. The firm's demand, right? Factors of production. That is indirect. Why they is induced demand, or indirectly induced demand? Because when there is a direct demand, firms encourage to demand factors of production because they need to increase the production, right? When there is the direct demand increase, induced demand also increase. Direct demand for the goods, induced demand for the factors of production, right? Direct demand happen in the goods market for the purpose of consumption. Indirect demand happen in the factor market for the purpose of further production. Right? So the direct demand depends on those are the normal factors that determine demand. Right? Price is the most important factor you look at. You consume goods and service, whether you pay or not, that depends on the price. The price increase, direct demand reduce. And the base, income, those things affect the direct demand. But induced demand affect on the various other factors, no? Right? Factor types, no? Right? Because firms always try to maximize profit. No? They want to exercise cost minimizing strategies, no? In the production process, right? So they will decide the production by incorporating the cost factor they need to consider it, right? Consider the cost factor. They always firms, they always utilize the factors of production, right? Cheap factors, right? Since in the market, in the this capitalist system, no, right? Profit. Always look at the private benefits, right? We are going to enlarge the profits. Firms always try to maximize the profit. So therefore, we look at the cost minimization strategies. If the labor and the capital, if the labor is cheap, no, wage rate, no, they will utilize more labor intensive techniques, no, right? I asked you to refer, no, right, about the economic development systems, how they are operating, mechanism, price mechanism, social systems, this planning systems, right? What is the motive behind that? You have an idea about it, right? Social welfare, and the other one is the private benefits in the market capitalist system. And the planning system, the social welfare, wage fair income distribution, and so on. Right? So according to that, they actually plan everything. Right? So that's a factor that goes to decline the system. The failures occur, right? Because planning is not perfect, no? Right? Covering all the economy. Right? So that's why understood in the last time why the social system decreases. So, no, right? Anyway, right? So this is the direct demand and the indirect demand, right? So direct demand is the for the goods and service in the goods market for the purpose of consumption. No? Indirect demand is the factor market for the purpose of labor market, factor market by the producers for the purpose of producing goods and services. When there is a direct demand increase, indirect demand also increase. Right? So we can identify the demand for goods and the demand for factors of production. So that is direct demand and the induced demand. Okay? Right. And the other one is the consumer demand and the market demand. That's also very important, right? Consumer means now we are talking about this perfectly competitive market segment. Right? There are large number of consumers in the market. and also the producers quality in the market. Now, consumer demand is one single consumer demand out of thousands of consumers. There are similar thousands in the market. If you take the soft drink industry, one individual demand for the soft drinks. Right? That is the individual demand. For the Coca-Cola, right? So that is the consumer demand, right? Since we are talking about the competitive market, perfectly competitive market, right? So with this number, right, it's one single consumer's demand for the goods and services, right? Now, it's different. Now, the consumer demand is changed person to person, right? So different people demand different quantities, right? Lies, maybe reference, so many other lines. So that's why we say it has a different elasticities, right? Different elasticities. So in other words, if you look at the individual demand curves, there are different slopes, right? Different slopes. Right. So, so that actually the consumer demand has no significant impact on the market. Right? So that is the most important thing, right? Since we are working in a perfectly competitive market, right? So there are a large number of consumers in the market, right? One single consumer has no control over the market. They cannot make any significant impact, right? So that is the outcome, right? And the market demand means what is market? Market means if we take all the individual demands together, that form the market. So how much they are willing to buy, right? All the consumers at a particular time, right? At the prevailing prices. Right? So that forms the market demand, right? So that actually relatively we call it as inelastic. Right? If you look at the individual demand curve, elastic means their slope is high, slope is there, steeper. But when it comes to the market, right, relatively flatter. Now we can see these are the individual demands, right? Starting from here. This is D1, D2, right? Different prices. Now, if you look at market demand, like right? Right? So now that is the adding individual demand, we can form the market demand. Adding the individual, right? So they are actually now here the steeper. Have the steep individual demand for D1, D2. D1, D2 are the individual. We assume only the two consumers in the market, right? So this is the market demand. By adding individual demand, we can obtain the market demand. Right? So that is actually a flatter compared with the individual demand flatter. So this is elastic. This is relatively inelastic. So you can remember the elastic and the inelastic. No? If the change is more significant, it is called elastic. Right? Small price change, but significant quantity change. If the price increase by 1%, demand decrease by 10%. That means demand is said to be elastic. Right? So that's why we have the now here to take the price change. Now here very high, no? Right? We have steeper curve, elastic. Right? But now here we have the steeper, and the other cases, if we combine all the individual demands, no, right? We get the market demand, right? So that is relatively flat, no, right? The market demand can change the price, no, right? To change the market demand, that can be called as the equilibrium price. Right? Okay. So that is the now we take the elasticity concept again, right? Look at this one. So this we know these are the steeper curves, right? If you go the steeper curves, right? Market, right? Four steeper curves. This is D1, D2, right? Steeper curves, right? Now here we put the price and the quantity, right? Price and the quantity. Now here we have this steeper one, right? So let's take now price is C0, price is T1, right? More now, here from here to get change. But the quantity, when there is an increase in the price, quantity decrease very slightly, right? So what is the nature of the elasticity? What is the elasticity? Earlier one I did I in the correct dimension? So right, our Indian earlier there's a things you need to highlight. Now here what happened? Price change, as I mentioned, 10%. Quantity change is 1%. Okay. Not highly responsive, right? Sensitivity between the price and the quantity is low, no? Low sensitivity, low relationship. Even though the price increase, quantity demand decrease by small margin. What is the nature of the demand? Elasticity. Inelastic. So this is inelastic. Now here, if you have a flatter curve, that means it becomes elastic. This is relatively elastic. So if you have this kind of shape, right, this can be like this, right? Flatter, that will be flatter. So that is the thing, right? If you look at the individual demands and the market demand, right? Individual demand, there can be different elasticities, right? But when it comes to the market, it's very more generalized. Right? Where the with respect to the consumer demand, that explains the price and the quantity are more generalized. Right? Okay. So the market demand can change the price, no? And the quantity, no? Right? But individual demand cannot take to individual demand. Right? Right. So now here you can see, right? So these are the individual demand ABC, no? Right? This is the market demand. If we add all together, you can see the market, right? Now you can develop, you can draw that one, right? And see, right? Now suppose we are giving quantity demand, right? Let's say 100. Now if you we will see how this is formed, right? Our demand equation, right? So price and the quantity, we can identify minus 0.2 P, right? Okay. Now we know that demand is a function of price, right? On which demand, inversely related, right? When the price increases, quantity demand increases. Now in the quantity and B is the price of the product. Right? So we have this is Q1, next one. The Q2, another individual demand, 120 minus 0.1 P. Another individual, 108 minus 0.25 P, right? Like that. Right? So Q1, Q2, Q3 are individual demand. Right? Now we can identify that also depends on the price. No? Right? Yes, with other factors remain constant. So the demand curve or the equation, no? Right? They explain the price and the quantity relationship, no? Right? Inverse relationship is there, so this is negative, no? Right? When the price increase, quantity demand. Now, what is the market demand? How we form the market demand for this equation? So these are the Q1, Q2, Q3 are the individual. Then how we take the market? We need to get the summation. No? How we get summation? What is the summation? So the QM market demand. You need to add how much? 100, 100. So that means that slope is now if you load that one, right? This is points change, no? Right? 220, 300, 30, no? Minus and the slope source, no? When two different slopes are there, 3.5, right? Like that, no? Right? Okay. So that is the market demand, right? Right. Now we will think about, we can think about individual demands with elasticity later, right? You can calculate it, right? We have the information that when the market demand elasticity. Okay. Right. So then what factors determine the demand? There are different factors, no? Determine the demand. Most important factor is the price of the product, right? We take the computer price, computer, right? Price of the computer, that is a significant factor because there are different prices. Right? That is the inversion factor. Right? So the price of the good, you know that as EX, right? And the price of the other goods, right? So price of the other goods means those are the two like substitute and the complement. If you take the computer, so one factor is the computer price, right? So then the other factors means price of the other goods means substitutes. If you take L, there are so many substitutes. Like B and I, there are different. Likewise, different computer brands are there. Substitutes are those prices, substitute prices. And the complements means in order to get the desired satisfaction, right? Computer is feeding, some other features, right? Get the printer rack. And some Apple computers, there are specifications there. You need to take same brand, same components in order to get the desired satisfaction. Apple may not be, they were you don't get the desired satisfaction, you need to say utilize same brand, same equipment, other related things in order to maximize the satisfaction. Right. So those are the complements, right? Complement prices also are. So those are the actually, if you take other example, now if you take the car tires and the tubes, right? Now there are tubeless tires also there, right? But if you take car tires and the tubes, right? Tires very use the design satisfaction, you need to use the tubes, right? When the tube price change, demand for tires also change, right? When the tube price increase, what happens? Demand for tires decrease, right? So there's a negative relationship. But in the substitutes, when the substitute price increase, what happens? Demand for the product that we consider, that also decrease. We take the tea and the sugar, right? So that is supplement, right? Sugar DNA is magnet, right? Sugar everyone is but if we get the desired satisfaction, we have some sugar, right? Yeah. We have sugar. Even though diabetic liver level, sugar are there, right? That's the reason, right? So that is complementary, right? When the sugar price increase, the demand decrease. And if you take the butter and the margarine, right? Even though it's that's a substitute. So when the margarine price increase, whatever, butter demand increase. So there's a positive relationship. Now what happened is the market, what happened is prices increase. What happened to the demand for chicken? That also increase. So that's why the chicken prices now raising. Chicken prices are raising. That's substitute. So we see some kind of relationship, right? So that's why it's a significant factor. Okay? So the price of other goods, right? Those are the substitutes and the complements. And the income, consumer income, that's also a factor. Taste, fashion, right? And there are set of other factors we can identify. Climate change, if you have a cool environment or a hot environment, right? Different demands create, right? In a cool environment, right? Cool drinks demand, right? Cool environment, what's there? But in hot environment, cool drinks demand, right? And the other important thing is future expectation, price expectation, right? Now, other sector will vary now for the other component now sector will vary. But if they think in price, increase, price expectation, and the population, with the rise in the population, demand, and the government interventions. If there is a government intervention that affects the prices, then that will affect the demand. Access, subsidies, and the credit availability. Credit facility is available. If there are no higher purchases, if you are paying, no, right? What happened? Credit facility is also there. If the banks give more and more credit to the consumers, right? For the consumption of goods, right? What happened? Demand for such goods increase, right? Even the savings service is also same, right? So the credit facility. Now, if you are taking the insurance, right? Medical insurance, if you take, no, right? There is a credit facility, no, right? You need to pay at the moment when you are taking the insurance, no, right? You can pay later, no, right? 3 months, maybe 60 days, 70 days, like that. So that will increase the demand, right? So those are the credit facilities. And the income distribution, if there is a fair income distribution, that affects the demand for certain goods, right? And the advertising that create artificial intelligence, right? So it's actually encouraged to purchase, no? Right? Advertising campaign, no? Right? That also factor, and the demonstration, no? Right? So you see when you are going here and there, you see, no? Right? Some in the showrooms, right? Nicely they show, right? Right? Sometimes you create demand in your mind, so attraction. So everything is demand. So those are the factors that determine demand. So basically the price, own price, is the main factor. Apart from that, we can identify other set of factors. So these other set of factors are the non-price determinant, right? So the demand mainly depends on the price and the non-price determinant, right? So the price of the product, price of the own product, and the non-price determinant. Here one time he asked last time in question, right? Last time, right? So what are the non-price determinants of you need to identify those other factors other than the price. When there is non-price, don't include the price as well, right? Some students they write the price also, right? As a fact, vision as non-price determinant. Right? Other than the factors, other than the price, right? What are other factors that determine demand, right, at a particular time, right? And the relationship with those factors. When price of substitute increase, what happens to the demand that we consider, product that we consider. And like the income chain, when the income rise, demand grow, demand increase, no? Right? Increase in demand, no? Right? When other factors change, that is important, no? Right? Now you know this, right? When the price of the product change, what happens to the impact on the demand curve is moving along the demand curve. No? When the price of the product change, so there is a negative relationship between the price and the quantity demand. Right? When the price increase, only demand increase. When the price decrease, only demand increase. That's we see movement along the demand curve. Right? Changing demand, so changing quantity demand. Right? Increase in the demand. So they are actually moving along, right? One demand curve, right? But in other factors, non-price determinant, other factors change. If the price is constant, whatever, entire demand schedule change. No? Entire demand schedule change. What is the impact of the demand curve? Demand curve shift to left or right. Right? So that actually shift the demand curve. Right? So here there is no shifting. Look here, there is a shifting of demand when other factors change. So here we assume price is constant. Other factors change favorably on. When we take the price, we assume other factors remaining constant. The impact of the demand curve is movement around the demand. That is ceteris paribus distribution. Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus assumption means ceteris paribus assumption. Right? So that is important assumption we made, no? Right? When we explain the demand, law of demand, right? That explain the price and the quantity demand. Yes, to other factors remaining constant. The other factors change, keeping the price constant, entire demand curve shift to left or right. Right? Okay. Right. So now you can think about these things, right? So what is the, looking at the determinants, when other factors change, right? Other factors mean price of related goods, right? Those are the substitutes and the complementary. As you mentioned, substitute price, there is a positive relationship. Right? If you take the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi-Cola, right? So we are going to draw the demand for the Coca-Cola, right? So in that case, Pepsi-Cola is the substitute, right? When the Pepsi-Cola price increase, demand for Coca-Cola also increase. So that actually substitute, right? Since there is a substitute, right? So the substitute are the goods that can be prices of the other goods, change in the price of the goods, uh, other goods related to the considering what we are considering, right? So that actually increase the demand. That means entire demand curve shift right to left or right. Right? So when the substitute price changes, so because that is the other factor, no? Right? Okay. So those are the substitutes. And the complementary is the goods that can be jointly consumed. Right? Joint consumption is essential in order to get the desired satisfaction. Right? So there is a negative relationship as we mentioned. Right? Compact disc and the disc drivers, if you can take that displayers, right? Without the displayers, you cannot use compact disc, right? When the compact displayers in price increase, demand for compact disc now all these outdated of these things. So likewise, we see the complementary goods, right? So likewise, you can identify different other factors, right? So that affect the demand, right? And how it is probably explained in the demand curve, right? Maybe it's a movement along the demand curve or shifting factor, right? So what factors cause to shift the demand curve to the right? We need to think, right? If the substitute price increase, entire demand curve right? No? Income increase, no? Right? Case increase, there's a price expected, people expect prices to increase, current demand increase, entire demand negotiation right likewise. So likewise, we need to think about what factors goes to shift the entire demand curve. In that sense, price is constant. Other factors change the revenue. Okay. So those are the things, right? Right. So you need to go through the PPTs, right? I will ask next day some questions, right? Okay. Regarding these things, right? Now, the law of demand and the exceptions to law of demand, right? So you need to make and come, right? Those things, right? And so it must be explained, right? So I will give you some case study next day. Classroom exercise, right? So you need to answer, okay? Just get ready and come, and meantime you need to answer the case study as well. You know, okay? So you can write down my. I will write my phone number, not 770716 Email, you can send to my personal email. At gmail.com. Okay, RASANGHER. Right? So can you add the me also? Your group details, right? You can communicate with that group is right? So if there are any concern, you can call me, right? If you have any questions, right? I'm free, right? I will answer, right? Otherwise, later on, you can just send me a message later. I will call you later, right? Right? Okay, thank you very much. We will meet next time, right? Next day, right? Next week.